Well, I've given up. Every time I come on and says, I want to really talk to you about substantive issues. I don't want to talk about this clown show and the vulgarity and everything else. And I want to share with you some more serious thoughts. I've given up. I'll never, ever get out of this loop. We went through Trump farting and shitting all over the courthouse, Laura Ingraham hugging the plastic straws, to every goofy ass thing you can think about. And the one thing about this operation, when you think they've hit bottom, they're nowhere close to it. So and what I try to do is limit my comments to powerful people. I talk about Trump, I talk about Jesse Waters, I talk about Sean Hannity, I talk about Laura Ingraham, because I don't like to pick on little people. And all right, this beaut here, how do you go without commenting on Laura Loomer? All right, now I'm not picking on a little person. This person is apparently become the top advisor to Donald J. Trump. She's on the plane all the time. I'll let other people like Bill Maher speculate. I'm not into that kind of speculation. But what I love is, and just so you know, she's a 9/11 truther. Okay? I don't have to tell you what a 9/11 truth is. And, you know, I admire Vice President Cheney for coming out. What are all of the people, particularly George W. Bush or Rex Tillerson or Jim Mattis, you actually have a presidential candidate that you won't speak out against, endorse somebody else that's hanging out with a 9/11 truther, that it was all an inside rigged deal. Okay, that's your choice. You got to live with yourself. There's nothing that I can do about it. But the one thing I can comment on is that these powerful right-wing, a lot of really wealthy Republicans have a tolerance of incompetence, buffoonery, racism, nuttism, goofyism, plain-ass, crazy-ass-ism that's really a sight to behold. I have no idea how Ken Griffin or Bill Ackman make their money. I guess they figured out some way to middle interest rates. They have an algorithm, some high-speed trading thing. I have no idea. But when it comes to politics, I don't know if these people know what they're doing. Do you know what they're doing with your money? Do you have any idea of who Laura Loomer is? I can tell you who she is. She ran in a congressional primary in the 11th Congressional District of Florida, which includes something called the Villages. You got to read about the Villages. She got 44% in a Republican primary. This person has a large following in the Republican Party. Maybe Trump pals around with her because he understands the nature of the Republican constituency. But that's about it. I'm just giving you the highlights of, I don't even want to call Laura Loomer nutty. I know a lot of people that are kind of nutty. I kind of like some of them. Of course, she's a big devotee, I mentioned work for him, but Alex Jones. These are people that mock children that are gunned down in elementary schools. These are not quality human beings. They're not even not quality human beings. They're god-awful human beings. And would any Democrat put up with that if we had this equivalent traveling around with the vice president? Not for a second. Not for a nanosecond. So when President Biden had his, let's just say, less than stellar debate performance, you saw Democrats come out of the woodwork. and said, we can't tolerate this. This can't go on. And we made a change because we accept the mantle of responsibility. We feel like we're responsible for the people that we support and we back. And by the way, President Biden is a elegant, wonderful, accomplished human being, but party collectively came to the conclusion that he was too old. And thank God he came to the same conclusion himself. Did you see that last debate? Did you see the incompetence? Did you see the lack of preparation? Did you see how cavalier he treated it? Did you see all of that? And these people keep funding this. I don't. James Comer is honestly. I'll ask the question: is this the stupidest son of a bitch to ever live in the United States? He might be, or Jim Jordan. Do you think that Democrats? I'll ask Mr. Ackman, Mr. Griffin. Do you think Democrats would put up with this level of buffoonery? Because I don't. I really don't. And, people say, well, you got your kind of the progressives. I don't agree with them on a lot of things, but they're not terrible people. They're not Laura Loomer. All right? And we just keep going down this rat hole where Republicans keep funding and supporting, I don't know what you call them. I mean, just go with the word buffoons, but I'm sure there's better definitions that people can come up with. And, of course, we can't forget our friend Elon Musk, who has some, I thought, rather strange things to say about Taylor Swift. I don't know how to tell Elon Musk this, but I don't think you ought to beat Travis Kelce in the end of a bar somewhere, but that's my own opinion. I don't want to go any deeper than that. But we got I think 7 weeks from Tuesday, which means we got about 7 weeks left to do things. I've now lost all hope that I'm going to be able to do serious or substantive videos because, frankly, these people cannot stop making jackasses out of themselves. And I can't stop commenting on it. And Laura Loomer, she can't shut up. And ask yourself this question. In the last 2 weeks, who has Trump spent more time with, Laura Loomer or his wife Melania? Because I don't really think Melania getting the same zip code as this son of a bitch. I really don't. I mean, you see him slap his hand away, not let him get in the car. Man, I don't like to comment on other people's marriage, but something ain't right here. And, now let's talk about the issues. If we just talked about the issues. Okay, Laura Loomer and Corey Lewandowski, why don't you let them talk about the issues? Because they really want tax cuts for high income people because this will trickle down and oh shit. What do you really think? All right, the issues. You think Laura Loomer gives a shit about the issues of Corey Lewandowski? And then they got poor, what's her name? Pat Summerall's daughter, but Susie Wiles and Chris LaCivita sitting trying to write ads on the issues. And Trump understands if he abandons misogyny and racism, then his voters will leave him. And he fundamentally understands that you got to keep watering this tree of misogyny and racism if he's going to be successful. So they're never going to talk about the issues, because the issues, if I see that one more time on television, I'm going to go the fuck up. So we just got to keep hitting this. We got to keep pointing out what I don't say they don't have low standards. They got none. And, this is really the party talking about family values at Laura Loomer. This is really the party talking about national security. And, I'll say it again. Thank God Dick Cheney came out. What are these people doing? What are you waiting on? What else do you have to see than somebody palling around with 9/11 truth? Not palling around, being, by every account, the number one advisor to Donald Trump is a 9/11 truther. The J6 stuff was horrific. It was bad enough, but they don't stop there. They don't stop there. Now they're into 9/11 truther. That was all a setup deal. And then you got the same shit. Well, I don't want to say anything because maybe no one will play gin rummy with me at the Dallas Country Club. I don't want to say anything because I've had a reputation all my life that I've tried to nurture and make. And if I say something, I'll risk my reputation. What do you think you're doing to your reputation by sitting there with one finger up your ass and one in your fucking mouth and switch it every 5 minutes? You're not doing anything for your reputation. Nothing. And, a lot of people listening to this are willing to step up and be counted, and I'm proud to stand up and be counted with you. And we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep putting pressure on them. We're going to keep mocking the issues. We're going to keep mocking just how colossally stupid these people are, but how colossally unpatriotic they are, what buffoons they are. And we're not going to stop. And we're going to play through Election Day, and we're going to keep calling out powerful people who apparently don't much give a shit about the future of this country. But we're going to keep doing that. And Laura Loomer and Corey and all of them are going to take in the wheel here at the Trump campaign. And we got to just be sure that we watch this thing crash and burn in the ground, which I think it's going to do. So till I see y'all later, and I'm sure these sons of bitches are going to have me coming out again to talk to you before long, because this stuff you can't pass up. And maybe Kenny Boy or Aki Boy or whatever his name is, maybe you can get him to talk about the issues. Oh, God. Thank you. Good night.